What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Penny. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the brand new 2024 Honda Accord, courtesy of Apple Honda of Hanover in Hanover, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we are in this one because this is the second year into the 11th generation Accord. You do also get 2 years or 24,000 miles of complimentary maintenance as well. So that's going to save you a little bit of money there too. But ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are several different trim levels for the 2024 Accord. First one being the LX, starting at $27,895, which by the way is a $600 bump from the 2023 model year. EX, which actually is the one we are in today, starting at $29,910. Sport Hybrid for $32,545. That's what I reviewed last year, I think. EXL Hybrid for $34,190. Sport L Hybrid for $34,525. And then the Touring Hybrid for $38,540. So you can imagine, with all of these trim levels, there are two different power plants available for the Accord. First one is going to belong to all of the non-hybrid trim levels, of course. That one is powered by a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, putting out 192 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 192 pound-feet of torque coming in at 1,700 RPM. Power sent to the front wheels through a CVT. 0 to 60 time for that one, approximately 7.2 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 29 in the city, 37 on the highway, taking regular unleaded fuel. But so then there is that other engine configuration belonging to the hybrid trim levels. That one is powered by a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with 2 electric motors, putting out 204 horsepower combined, 247 pound-feet of torque. Power sent to the front wheels yet again through a continuously variable transmission yet again. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 6.6 seconds, so a little bit quicker there. With MPG numbers, get ready, 51 in the city, 44 on the highway. That's pretty insane, taking regular unleaded fuel yet again. So before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the Accord, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. I believe the hybrid does give you more drive modes than the non-hybrid configuration. So for us, we got Sport, Normal, and Econ. The Econ drive mode button's located directly behind the shifter there, but essentially adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the climate control settings as well. So if I were to put it in that Econ driving mode, for example, it's going to dial back the AC on hot days, giving you a little better MPGs. I remember that in my old Civic. It did work, actually. Give you a lot more MPGs, so did want to mention that. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put this acceleration here to the test. Keep in mind, we got the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2024 Accord here up to speed. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go! It's not bad. There actually wasn't that much turbo lag. Okay, now we're really kicking. When you get higher up in the RPM, this thing definitely goes, son, but there wasn't much turbo lag actually, and I was kind of expecting it because typically with turbocharged 4-cylinders, that is what you get. It wasn't that bad in the Accord, I will say that. So absolutely no issues when it comes to the acceleration. Of course, with the hybrid, that is even quicker, and there is no turbo lag whatsoever because it's not turbocharged, and you got the electric motors, so that one's going to be a lot quicker off the line. But having said that, this one wasn't bad, so plenty of an acceleration to merge you onto the highway. But to go along with that acceleration, braking is equally important, and believe it or not, the braking configuration is going to differ between the turbocharged engine and the hybrid configuration. So for example, up front you will find 11.5-inch ventilated front discs for the turbo that we have today, but then that gets bumped up for the hybrid, bumping it up to 12.3-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, it's going to be the same either way, coming in an 11.1-inch solid rear disc. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that comes in at a respectable 121 feet. That's pretty much what I would expect for this thing. Having said that, the braking feel is fine. It's actually a little bit on the firmer side of things, not anything super firm, but it's 100% not a soft braking feel either. So as far as that braking feel goes, that has been certainly perfectly fine on my short little test drive here today. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars, of course. As far as ride quality goes, you do tend to feel a little bit more of the road. Typically with the Honda Accord, that is to be expected for whatever reason. So it's more of a driver's car, honestly. If you're looking for a sedan, this is more of a driver's sedan without a doubt. And that's fine, because that's what this vehicle is. It's nothing crazy. It's not a very firm ride or anything like that, but it's not the most plushest ride compared to some of its competition, I will say that. But the steering feel is absolutely brilliant, without a doubt. Definitely on the heavier side of things, and that's what really puts the Accord ahead of the competition, because it instantly points you in the direction that you want to go. The handling is absolutely amazing as we are carving through these back roads right here. Just the steering feel is just brilliant. It's such a fun car to drive, and this is a commuter car, so technically it doesn't have to be, but it is an incredible steering feel on this thing. So that is something I really want to emphasize with the Accord. If you're looking for something a little bit more enjoyable to drive, this is definitely one to check out, because like I said, it does instantly put you in the direction that you want to go. It's a fun drive. But as far as cabin noise goes, we're going 30 miles per hour right now. There is a little bit of road noise, but the wind noise is definitely held at bay, so absolutely no issues there. Touching on visibility, I honestly should adjust my rear view mirror, but I can see perfectly fine out the back. So with the shape of the Accord, you really shouldn't have any issues when it comes to visibility. But did want to mention, with the touring trim level only, you do get rain sensing windshield wipers to help assist you with forward visibility a little bit. So whenever the Accord detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on these windshield wipers for you. So just one less thing you got to worry about there. But you also get, with the touring, a head-up display. So that's going to project your speed limit, and safety features up onto your windshield, so you can better focus more of your attention on actually enjoying the drive. So gotta love that as well. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2024 Honda Accord. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2024 Honda Accord, finished in Canyon River Blue. Very cool name for an exterior color on any vehicle. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the Accord is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 1, indicating that the Honda Accord is built and assembled here in the US. But let's go ahead and start up front on this one. Black front grille with active grille shutters does come standard on the Accord. Active grille shutters meaning that the grille shutters are going to open and close depending upon the engine cooling that is needed at any given time. To the sides, LED headlights do come standard with LED daytime running lights as well. You do also get the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, the headlights will turn on automatically for you there. But you also get automatic high beams for every single trim level across the board. So if you have your high beams on at night, and since it's a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So that is pretty darn cool. And I do like the low hood line on the Accord. It was redesigned last year, of course, so definitely a very nice look up front. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the Accord, chrome upper window trim does come standard on the Accord. Body colored power adjustable side mirrors coming standard as well. However, there will be gloss black for the sport trim levels, heated for the EX trim level and up. You're going to get LED integrated turn signals then for the EXL and Touring, and then the reverse gear tilt down feature for the Touring trim level then as well. But then taking a look down at the wheel setup, 17-inch alloys coming on the LX, EX, and EXL trims, and then 19-inch alloys coming on the sport trim levels, of course, but the Touring then as well. And they do get two different designs, of course, but gloss black side skirts then coming with the sport. Otherwise, you're going to get matte black side skirts like you guys are currently looking at. But I do like the side profile of the Accord. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the Accord, all the way to the top, body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, you do have LED taillights. You gotta love the new design as well. But one of the coolest things about in the middle of the taillights there is the throwback 90s logo. I'm gonna call it that because it's such a tiny little logo. Typically these days, especially with Acura, Honda's luxury brand, they have massive logos on the front and the back. But with the Honda Accord, it's a tiny little guy. I think it's pretty darn cool. But anyways, there is dual exhaust outlets tucked away underneath there. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the Accord, when it comes to opening that rear trunk, there is a button on the key fob, but there is a button, of course, on the trunk itself as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at a very impressive 16.7 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, of course, there are some levers back there in the cargo area. There's a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. You will have some LED cargo lighting. They didn't go with the halogen bulbs, they went with the LEDs, so I gotta love that. There's actually a couple grocery bag hooks back there as well, which you don't typically see in sedans. That's an SUV feature typically, so I did like seeing that there is a couple grocery bag hooks back there. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, which is interesting because last year when I reviewed the hybrid, I remember it was a tire inflator kit and a little bit of in-floor storage. So apparently the turbocharged engine doesn't get that. They get the real spare tire, which I personally prefer, honestly. But then make our way up to the rear legroom. That comes in at 40.8 inches. That's a good bit. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. Rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard for all trim levels across the board. You gotta love that. Dual rear USB charging ports coming with the EXL and Touring trim levels only. Heated rear seats coming with the Touring trim level only. And to my surprise, no rear ventilation coming standard. So would have loved to have seen that, especially in a midsize sedan like the Accord. So Honda, I would add that one definitely. But then make our way up to the front seats. Cloth seating coming with the LX, EX, and Sport trim levels. Leather seating for the EXL, Sport L, and Touring. Heated front seats for the EX, EXL, Sport L, and Touring. Ventilated front seats for the Touring. Power adjustable front seats for the EX trim level and up. And then memory settings are going to come on the EXL and Touring trim level. So keep in mind, we got the EX trim level with us here today. So do have the power adjustable seats, which are plenty fine. Definitely very adjustable lumbar support as well. But they are a little stiffer than I expected, quite honestly. I will say the pilot seats that I just drove, they were incredibly comfortable. So not quite as comfortable as those, but they'll get the job done. Certainly no issues with the seating here. But then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is going to be leather wrapped for the hybrid trim levels. Otherwise, it is going to be wrapped in urethane like you guys are currently looking at right now. But then make our way up to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key. You got your Honda logo on the one side. When you flip it over, lock, unlock, the button to pop the rear trunk there. But the circular button, that is going to be a remote start, which by the way comes standard for all trim levels across the board. That is pretty cool, but also coming standard, keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just to the left of the air vents there. And so once started up, a 10.2-inch digital gauge cluster does come standard across the board. So gotta love that. It gives you things like how many miles you have left until you hit empty. There's a speed limit recognition up there. There's a digital speedometer. There's your outside temperature. And of course, all this can be controlled by using the steering wheel mounted controls on the left side of the steering wheel there. So that is pretty darn cool. I like that. So then making our way to overall interior quality, there is going to be a power moonroof coming with the EX trim level end up. I like that as well. Overhead sunglass holder for all trim levels across the board. Automatic climate control for the LX, but then dual zone climate control for the EX trim level and up, so both driver and passenger can set their own temperatures there. Aluminum foot pedals coming with the Sport trim levels, of course. Auto dimming rear view mirror for the EXL and Touring, and then a wireless phone charger for the Touring trim level then as well. So overall, when it comes to interior quality, it's kind of on the basic side of things. So I do like the rubberized storage located just in front of the shifter. You got a couple USB charging ports there, but surrounding the shifter and surrounding the cup holders here, you have this matte black finish. So would have loved to have seen Honda finish that in a gloss black to kind of match the shifter here as well as kind of finished in a gloss black. So I think that would have looked a heck of a lot better. Maybe they did it to cut cost, I don't know, but there is a lot of matte black plastic kind of found just surrounding the climate control buttons here as well above the passenger side glove box. But then within the center armrest, there's actually a decent amount of storage in there. I will say that, more than I'm used to seeing. You got a 12-volt power outlet in there as well. So overall, the design to everything is quite nice. I just wish they would have swapped out some of that matte black finishes for like a gloss black or some kind of maybe even a gray plastic design. Not a matte gray, but like a nice design to it, kind of like Hyundai does with most of their vehicles, like the Sonata, for example. So that's what I would have wanted to see. But anyways, now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here. 7-inch color touchscreen display coming with the LX and EX. 12.3-inch color touchscreen display for the hybrid trim levels. Either way, you get Bluetooth and audio streaming. You also get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You get get Honda's famous clock set up, which I always like to put it on up there. And of course, you can check out your radio information up there as well. So when it comes to the sound systems, there are 3 of them. 4 speakers and 160 watts are going to come on the LX trim level. 8 speakers and 180 watts for the EX, EXL, and Sport trim levels, and then a 12-speaker Bose sound system is going to come on the Touring. So, having said that, we do have the 8-speaker sound system with us here today. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. It's okay. It sounds like an 8-speaker, 180-watt sound system. It kind of sounds like a 6-speaker sound system, honestly. So it's not the best. Maybe that's because it was FM radio and they didn't have Sirius XM connected to this thing, but not the best sound system in my personal opinion. But anyways, last thing I want to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Accord in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so first, let me start with the best part. IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS. So that pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard, driver and passenger knee airbags as well. In the back, you're also going to get rear side impact airbags. A lot of times that's an option, even with luxury automakers. So that is pretty cool that that comes standard. In the back also, latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, of course, Honda Sensing. And so Honda Sensing gives you a ton of advanced safety, including forward collision warning, lane departure warning, a collision mitigation braking system, road departure mitigation system, lane keep assist, traffic jam assist, adaptive cruise control, traffic sign recognition, and a driver attention monitoring system then as well. Then the EX and Touring trims are going to add parking sensors, and then there's a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, optional for the EX trim level and up. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, rear legroom is great. Anything over 40 inches for the rear seats is absolutely amazing. Cargo space is great as well. You get great MPGs on the hybrid trim level that we don't have today, but I reviewed that one last year. So 50 plus MPGs, that is absolutely insane. Great safety as well. You can't beat an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. It doesn't get any better than that. But where the Accord really shines really is the driving dynamics, specifically the handling and the steering feel. It's absolutely amazing. It feels like every single car should feel like, but doesn't. So the Accord does that absolutely brilliantly. As far as room for improvement goes, it really needs rear ventilation. I know the Sonata gets it. I'm pretty sure the Camry gets it. I don't know why Honda doesn't give the Accord rear ventilation. So if you got your kids in the back, you want them to stay comfortable. So that is one thing I would definitely add. All-wheel drive option would be nice as well. Just about every other midsize sedan offers that. I know the K5 does. I think the Sonata is now going to be offering that. I know the Camry does. I know the Altima does. So I think Honda offering an all-wheel drive option for the Accord would be absolutely brilliant, especially in PA here because we do get some snow. And lastly, I think multicolor ambient lighting would look pretty darn good in this thing as well. But anyways, that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews, because that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.